Kambili, and he actively encourages her to speak up, to engage. Plus, his views on finding God within yourself rather than needing to chase apparitions in places like Aokbe, that's such a contrast to the rigid Catholicism they've known. We also learn he's preparing for missionary work abroad, which represents yet another path to faith.
Yeah, true. But this newfound freedom, it isn't without its own problems. The student riots break out in Nusuka, sparked by the lack of light and water. Things escalate. Auntie Ifeoma's flat gets invaded by the Special Security Unit. And America's anger at Nigeria's systemic problems is just palpable. Ultimately, this escalating political instability, the direct threats, they force Auntie Ifeoma to make that really difficult decision to leave for America, for safety, for opportunity for her kids. It's a poignant reminder, isn't it, that even intellectual freedom sometimes just can't withstand the harsh realities of political oppression.
Definitely. So now let's turn to the climax and the aftermath, where all these simmering tensions finally boil over. They reach their breaking points. Papa Nuku's death is a huge moment. He passes away peacefully in his sleep. But Papa Eugene is outraged. Why? Because there was no extreme unction, no last rites, and he refuses to participate in what he calls a pagan funeral.
And this sparks Auntie Ifeoma's furious, curse-laden outburst. She actually snaps her fingers at Papa, throws a curse at him, insists she'll sell her dead husband's grave before giving their father a Catholic funeral. This raw grief just highlights the massive, irreconcilable differences in their beliefs and the deep emotional cost of Papa's unyielding rigidity. It's such a powerful scene. It shows that some lines, once you cross them, you can't uncross them. And grief can be as defiant as it is sorrowful.
Yeah. And Kabili's own breaking point comes after she gets back home and gets second place on her report card again. Papa inflicts this brutal punishment with boiling water on her feet, explaining it as a metaphor for burning away sin. He's actually crying as he does it, believing he's acting for her salvation, but causing such deep harm. Then, after Kambili's hospitalized broken rib, internal bleeding C, Mama makes this truly shocking confession. She reveals her miscarriages weren't accidents, and then admits she'd been poisoning Papa's tea all along.
Wow.
It's just a tragic, desperate act of liberation from a woman pushed way beyond her limits.
It really is. And this shattering family revelation is compounded by the assassination of A.D. Coker, Papa's editor. He dies from a letter bomb, leaves charred remains. This horrific event sparks national and international outcry. Nigeria gets suspended from the Commonwealth, ambassadors are recalled, and the impact on Papa is profound, visible. He becomes slow, sunken-eyed. He's heard praying in tongues at night, something he always condemned in others. It's a powerful portrayal of how political violence can mirror and intensify personal trauma.
And Mama's mental state just deteriorates rapidly after this. She becomes unkempt, her eyes are vacant. She publicly declares she poisoned Papa, writes letters to newspapers about it. Though no one believes her, they just put it down to grief. Jaja, meanwhile, takes the fall. He's imprisoned for Papa's death. Spends over 31 months just awaiting trial. His decline is visible, sagged shoulders, hardened eyes. He stops making eye contact. Enduring these horrific prison conditions, crowded cells, filth, Adichie really pulls no punches, showing the devastating long-term impact of control, both personal and political.
No, she doesn't. And as for Amaka and Obiora, they're now in America. Obiora is thriving, apparently. He gets a scholarship, praised for challenging his teachers. Amaka keeps up her activism, writing letters to the head of state, even to a secular American magazine about Nigeria's justice system, the Aopia apparitions. But she lives a busy life now, less time for that laughter that used to fill their home in Nusuka. It suggests that while freedom is gained, maybe it often comes with its own set of trade-offs, its own losses.
That makes sense. Yet, even amidst all this profound loss and change, the novel closes with this feeling of lingering hope. New beginnings. Jaja's release is finally confirmed. It's spurred by the death of the head of state who, as the rumors have it, died atop a prostitute.
Right.
The interim civilian government that follows releases prisoners of conscience, and Jaja's name is on the list. This moment offers this glimpse of national healing, mirroring the personal possibility of freedom.
Absolutely. And Kambili, despite everything she's endured, she experiences such significant growth. She finds her voice, her laughter, that sense of lightness she felt in Nusuka. She plans to visit Jaja in prison, tell him all about Nusuka, about America. Her belief in Father Amadi's letters, his words about her worthiness, they seem to be a guiding light for her, and her vision for the future is clear. Jaja's release, visiting Auntie Ifeoma in America, planting new orange and purple hibiscus trees back in Aba, even sucking their juices. It's this beautiful metaphor for a renewed, joyful life. Her journey really shows that finding your voice isn't just a sudden thing, is it? It's a continuous, often painful process of growth and self-acceptance.
That purple hibiscus is such a potent symbol throughout the whole novel. It represents Josh's burgeoning freedom, his defiance. It blooms so vibrantly in Auntie Theoma's free environment. Such a stark contrast to the red hibiscus his mama cuts for Papa's church altar. It really signifies that potential for growth, for breaking free from rigid constraints, blossoming in spaces where authenticity is actually allowed to flourish.
Yeah, and that symbolism connects so deeply to the author's perspective, her legacy. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, she grew up in Chinua Achebe's former house in Masuka. She credits his influence, saying he gave her permission to write about my world, and co. And she specifically says her intent was for Papa to be a complex character, not a monster, which highlights her nuanced approach even to oppressive figures. She talks about desiring to live in Nigeria and matter there, empowering women, inspiring other writers. And the critical praise for Purple Hibiscus reflects this. People called it breathtaking confidence, praised its infinite wisdom, hailed Adichie as an inspirational new voice. Her work just reminds us that true power lies in authentic storytelling.
That's beautifully put. And Adichie's essay, Tiny Wonders, it elaborates even more on her connection to Nigeria. She describes Nsukka's fading beauty houses faded, hedges with gaping holes. Yet there's this resilience, life just continuing, like men eating mangoes despite all the changes. She reflects on the power of memory, like finding an old blackboard with her childhood writing on it, our A-E-I-O-U called vowels. She describes the delicious pain of childhood memories and this acceptance of change, deciding not to erase the past, but just leave it as it is. It's a really poignant reflection on that ongoing, complex relationship we all have with our past, with our homeland. And that you is Purple Hibiscus. It's a story that takes us on this unforgettable journey, really, from crushing control to burgeoning freedom, all set against the backdrop of a nation grappling with its own identity. We've seen how Adichie masterfully weaves the personal and the political, makes us question what it really means to truly live and to find your voice.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, Adichie's work really poses an important question for all of us, I think. In a world full of stark contrasts, overwhelming information, how do you cultivate your own inner garden? How do you allow your unique purple hibiscuses to bloom, even when the outside world seems determined to prune them back? It's a powerful reminder, really, that finding your voice sometimes is the most defiant act of all.